Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about eminent domain, and this right here is a natural news article that green terrorists are stealing property in America's heartland. Why? To build a massive CO2 pipeline, terraforming machines for destruction of photosynthesis on Earth. Actual news, they won't give you any good environmental information, so they're saying that the destruction of photosynthesis on Earth is that they're going to try to bury all the CO2 so then trees, vegetation can't take in CO2 and then produce oxygen. This is interesting stuff here, people. This is real. This is environmental tyranny coming down. So this was a July 9th article. Today is the 11th. So they say that Summit Carbon Solutions is back at it in Iowa trying to steal private farmland for use in its massive carbon capture scam. The Iowa Utility Board reportedly approved a proposal by the Summit to build a carbon dioxide pipeline that stretches across 5 Midwestern states: Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, North and South Dakota. It's slated to cover 2,500 miles, and the portion in Iowa is supposed to be 680 miles long and connect with 57 ethanol plants, said a spokeswoman for the company, and the decision will allow Summit to use eminent domain to steal 859 land parcels from private landowners, the vast majority of whom are opposed to the Green Project, which aims to bury carbon dioxide underground so it can't pollute the environment. They say that after weighing numerous factors for and against Summit Carbon's petition, the board found that the service to be provided by Summit Carbon will promote the public convenience and necessity. Well, they have to get wording in there that will allow eminent domain. Eminent domain is where the government can come in and say, for the good of everyone else, we get to take your land. And so this says, don't be fooled by conservatives. Many Republican politicians are selling out farmers to these green energy scams. Okay, now we've been through this a bunch of times before. Mike Adams and his natural news, they will not give you good environmental information. They will not expose all of the fraudulent environmental voices, including Gore. They will not expose them. That they will not allow solutions. Because they won't allow solutions that would have solved, even if there is, a carbon dioxide problem, it would have been solved. And according to Mike Adams, of course, and everybody in the independent news who doesn't know anything about the environment, except maybe Alex Jones, global warming is not real. Of course, they know it. They don't know anything about how Earth works, but they're Archie Bunker staunch that global warming is not real, so end of any other discussion about the environment. And the environment goes far beyond just carbon dioxide and global warming. Okay, so right here. Now, Natural News will publish this because CO2 pipelines are money-grubbing scams, and they're probably unconstitutional. Mike Adams in Natural News, they published a bunch of Ethan Huff stuff because he spews their line and I've never contacted Ethan like, hey Ethan, could you give out some good environmental information? And then you're going to find out your work never gets published. He wouldn't do it, I'm sure. And so there's some conditions to the proposal that include forcing Summit to submit revised exhibits for review. They're going to also have to get $1 million insurance policy, adhere to specific construction methods, ensure compensation for landowners intended for any construction-related damages, and receive approval from the 4 other states involved in the project. And this is all absolutely sheer ridiculous because all we need is actual real solutions that would just stop emitting carbon dioxide. Nowhere in all of this carbon capture does anybody talk about the very simple measures to just stop emitting carbon dioxide. Why would we talk simple, real solutions, okay? And worse is Mike Adams won't. The summit CEO, Lee Blank, said the momentum will continue as we prepare to file our South Dakota permit application in early July. They look forward to engaging with the state throughout this process and are confident in a successful outcome. However, those opposed to the project include hordes of private landowners, say Summit's CO2 pipeline will only benefit the company while providing no benefits to the public. There is deep-rooted passion for our farm ground in many farmers, and to have something like this rip it apart for something so unnecessary is unimaginable, said Austin Hayek, Hayek, a farmer from Fort Dodge, Iowa, who, like many of his neighbors, fear the pipeline will disrupt their ability to maintain and pass down his farming legacy to the next generation. And then they say, like all other green scams, everything's a scam because you don't have to show the one livable planet that we know of any respect whatsoever. Carbon pipelines would not be possible if it weren't for federal tax credits paid for by U.S. taxpayers, which is not even really true. We're not paying for this. It's currency collapsing debt that's paying for this, just like electric vehicles, solar panels, carbon pipelines, and the rest exist because of taxpayer-funded subsidies and other benefits not afforded to other industries. That is absolutely true. All of this ridiculousness, Tulsa, it would never have happened without it. That's not free market capitalism when the government is coming in and handing to people to promote something because it's their agenda. But the landowners say this is far from over, says Jess Mazour, a chapter conservative coordinator of the Sierra Club of Iowa. We will appeal this decision and make our arguments in front of a fair decision maker. And in May 2023, a South Dakota farmer named Jared Bosley won his case against Summit, this being a little silver lining for the whole fiasco. On X, someone wrote that threatened farmers in all the affected states need to file their own lawsuits against Summit. I mean, I need to try to get in touch with these people. They'll throw it out the window. It'll just be more wasted time on my part. But I mean, their biggest argument needs to be that no one will allow solutions. And if anyone had, including the highest levels of the United States government, this would all not exist. We wouldn't even be talking about this ridiculousness. But right now, they say that every farmer needs to post signs with this exact verbiage on their property. Right here, she wrote about the following statement to be posted on farms. So I'm assuming this she is Jess Mazour. I'm assuming just from the reference, but someone's saying that they need to post no trespassing. Trespassers will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. No immunity for criminal trespass by government parties. Somebody else pointed out just how far America is falling from grace when private companies can successfully declare eminent domain on other people's private property. And unless Americans take a stand against these type of projects, our entire country will eventually be taken over by green tyrants. Well, you know what? That stand needs to be taken with Mike Adams and all the independent news who, if you've been around here, seen plenty of my videos, they will not give you good environmental information. They themselves could shut down this whole argument. But if you talk anything about any solution whatsoever, even if it solves problems that they talk about, they will not allow it. They're Archie Bunker staunch. They are not the truth media that they masquerade as. Eminent domain, people, it can happen to you too. And don't be surprised if it does. It's like Jason Bourne says, this ends now. I mean, it should. So we'll see. Stay tuned.